Oakley dokley. Okay, so what I have here, I got my light, so it's going to be really bright. 2014 CTX 1300, only made 1 year, absolutely zero aftermarket stuff you can buy for these. You got to make all this shit yourself. So I want highway pegs for this, so I'm going to make my brackets. I haven't got the pegs yet, but I want to just show the right one, what the right one looks like. Okay, it's mounted and it's basically lined up with this right here. There's a tube coming out here, so if I laid it down, it's not going to rip that off. It's going to hit this before it hits this. But what I used is, I believe it's 1/4 inch cold roll steel. And I just kind of want to show the bracket and how I did this, and how they fit into place. And I'll show you the other side too, and the considerations you gotta have when you build these brackets. Geez, I might even. Okay, so obviously, let me get in position here. The classic YouTube thing where the guy's trying to hold the camera and talk at the same time. So one of the problems with this is, let me see. The mounting goes right here. I believe that's 8 mil, 10 mil, 8 mil. And that's the only real spot to mount. It's right on the passenger side. It holds this tube, this crash tube thingy right here. So I ended up making this. This is my right side. And it's gonna sit down there like that. And if you look here, I actually put a 10-degree angle inward, so it's going to be facing inward towards the bike so they don't stick straight out and your feet slide off the pegs. So basically, that's going to mount there. And the problem I had before is I had it like this, but what it did was it threw this angle off here to mount the actual peg on. So I was forced to bring it back to match. And if you look here, this hose, this point right here is going to be your biggest fight, right there. Making contact with this, and it will take no time for this piece of metal to cut through that hose, because it's just radiator hose. So basically how I solved that problem was this used to be just square 1/4 inch by 1.5 inch cold roll steel. And what I did was I just took this piece out right here up to here. And this really gave me a lot more room. Now it sits exactly like the other side does. And the reason I knew I could get away with this was because how this was welded, how this was welded, it's not gonna break loose. There's no way. If you stood on that thing, you couldn't weld it. The nice thing about this is you don't stand on these, you just basically rest your legs. It's only holding the weight of your legs. And I trust these things. I would stand on that and I trust it. So it's got a bolt there. The cover fits over nice. I got the room right down here now to accommodate that. So yeah, so that's that. I wish I could get better footage of it without blinding people. But I got a headlamp on. Maybe if I get down a little lower. Oh, without smashing my cranium. Without busting my cranium open. Because I want you to be able to, you got to get a good reference. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so here's that tube. And that's the only bolt you can mount to. And there's the problem area. So what I did was I took a piece of tube or a piece of hose from work, fuel line, fairly thick. There's not going to be hardly any pressure on that. And another thing I did too, and you're not really supposed to do this. These things are form fitted, so they fit, they're bent and heated in place to where they're supposed to go. But they can take a little twisting. You can twist it a little bit. So I loosened that up and I went back there and loosened that one and twisted it and trained the hose outward. This thing would have been all the way into this point here without doing that. But I didn't put too much of a twist on it, because you don't want to strain the hose. You don't want to strain your heater hose. That's formed for a reason. But yeah, right there. Just like that. I got that room and it sits perfect. It sits the same as the other side. And all I need to do is when I buy my regular old pegs, I'm just gonna drill through that and mount it straight up there. And once again, if I tip this thing over, which will never happen because I'm a professional motorcycle rider that's never had an encounter, and I never will, and I'm not even gonna knock wood on that. But if it was to tip over, it would bounce off of this before it hit this. And even if it did start going into this, it's gonna twist it a little bit, but it won't snap any of this clean. You know, because this is gonna take the brunt of it. But yeah, so that's the start. That is the right side. Word up. Okay, through the magic of editing and time, this is off. Right side. By the way, if you don't have a gremlin on your bike, have a friend get you one. They don't work if you buy them for yourself, but a friend needs to buy you one. What that does is it chases all the evil, bad luck gremlins away when you're on road trips, and it kicks their ass and knocks them down into the potholes. So get one of those. It's a superstitious thing, but it'll keep trouble away from your bike. So here's the connection on the left side. And it's really simple. I mean, I basically cut and went up to this point. So as far as swiveling goes, it's not going to swivel because it's got that square to stop it. Really simple. Basically, you know, I should put a lock washer on there, and I really should get longer bolts. I don't know. You know, I'm only using a 1/4 inch of the thread. I should go get longer bolts to make up for that extra 1/4 inch space. And maybe another 1/16 for a lock washer, an 1/8 inch for a lock washer. But like I said, I'm not, you know, your legs don't apply too much weight to it. And I was talking before about how at the end I put a 10-degree on it. You can really see it here. You can see the 10-degree inward, you know, this here is facing 10 degrees inward. That's just gonna accommodate the ergonomics of how the legs come out on each side of the bike. But yeah, that's it. And I know a lot of people have these bikes and they're wondering, well, where the hell did I get these? I might just drop specs on this, and you go get a piece of steel yourself and cut the pieces, have a friend weld them, and go from there. You just drill your holes and mount them that way. God, what else was I going to say that's kind of important about this? Well, anyways, it's going to work. It's going to look fine too when it's done. I'm going to get these. I talked to a guy today. He's going to powder coat them for me, so it'll make them look better. I'm going to round those edges off, so if you do bump into it somehow, you're not rushed to the hospital to have your arteries reattached to your leg or whatever. But it'll look nice when it's done, or at least better. So yeah, that's it. Maybe I'll, like I said, maybe I'll write out specs on these and weld them up yourself, or at least give you a better idea of how to do it. I'm no engineer by any means, but I know what weight these will take, and I know, you know, that they're going to be plenty strong enough for the foot to stand set out here. Plus, it's going to make it so much better riding when you want to stretch your legs out. You just put them up on this. And it's far enough away, you know, like I said, this needs to be out a certain way. I wish it was back just a little bit more, because this spot right here is where my legs will hit. Right here, you got to almost go around it and out, you know, this spot right here. But it will work nice. So I'll post something when I'm done. You can check it out. Thanks for watching. And if you like this video, I'm going to be really pathetic. If you like this video, make sure you beat the piss out of that notification bell, and you hit the like button and comment below and tell me what you think, so I can get false hope that I'm going to make billions of dollars off of YouTube, and they're going to send me billions of dollars and I'll never have to work again. Just like the video. Or if at the very least, I hope you got information out of it that'll help you. Thank you and goodbye. Okay, now we're going to jump over to the right side, which I would call on the motorcycle the driver's side in the United States. For you foreign people that drive on the wrong side of the road, I guess that would be the passenger side, but the left side of the bike. I was talking before. If you look, you see. I mean, that does, God, that's really close. But it's not going to shear anything off. I'm pretty positive of that. So I'm going to pull that cover off. And this one's actually really simple. This one's simpler. This one, I wish the other side was like this. Okay, so here's the rough measurements of what I used. Okay, let's look at this here. It's going to all be one-handed stuff because I'm not good like that. So it's actually, it's actually 1 3/8 square. 1 3/8 by 1/4 inch. Or is it 1/4 inch? Let's measure it, shall we? Yeah, so it's 1 3/8 by 1/4 inch cold rolled steel. Get out of my way. Move out of my way. You go now. You be here for too long. You've been here for 4 hours. So the overall length, these, at least this, and you can change this actually, is from the very corner of that, I got it's at about 5 11/16 or 3/4. Doesn't need to be that. You can even shorten these. You can even go 5 1/4 overall length. Yeah. You could easily go 5 1/4 and still be within on the back side of that safety, that spill bar. That would be actually inside of it. So, yeah, so 5 1/4 here to here. 1 3/8 by 1/4 inch. Then this, from the very bottom, we'll go like this. It's just easier. Well, like this. So that's 2 3/4 by 1 3/4. Now, this here can be longer. It doesn't need to be exactly 2 3/4 because nothing's going to interfere down here. You go a little longer down, a little lower if you got longer legs. You know, you can go all the way down there. And this here is really not important because, it's important. I haven't drilled holes yet because I haven't got my, whatchamacallits, my highway pegs. So I don't know what size hole to drill in that to accommodate that highway peg. So you can basically make this a little longer if you want. This run could be a little longer. But the important thing is, now this is the left side. The important thing to do is make sure that from this edge to this edge, you have a proper measurement. And I'm just going to kind of give you a ballpark. This is something you should really do in your own. Looks like 3/4 to center. So from this edge down, 3/4 to center, that would be on your left. That would be your left foot peg mount. And make sure that when you cut this, you do your 5 1/4, whatever it is, but make sure you put a 10-degree cut on there because that, when you put that up there, your legs are going to come down and accommodate that 10 degrees. Nice, so they'll face towards you. Okay, now comes the Frankenstein side. Wait for this one. It's a good one. You're going to love it. Same thing. Same measurements. What the hell is that? 5 3/4. Or this one's actually a little narrower. 5 1/4. This one's. Oh, I know why. I know why I didn't do it on the long side. I should give you the long side measurement. So 5 1/2 on this side. So 5 1/2 by 3 inches by 3/4. 3 inches, 3/4 to center. And have a little room here. It'd be best if you drilled it this way because you're gonna see here. And what I did here, I took the same exact thing, but on the right side, that hose runs right through here. So that's why I had to do that. So you're gonna take, you're gonna take this and basically cut from here to here and take that out. That's what I did here. Took that out so I had room for my hose in there. So yeah, and then the same thing, the same height up, whatever that was. I don't know what it was. The same thing, the 10 degree on this side, 10 degree to accommodate the foot going down. So it's going to be steered towards you. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic. What I actually did was, if you're not comfortable doing that, this is what I did as a template. I basically just went and got a strip of this at the hardware store and drilled a 10 millimeter here for the bolt. We cut it, bolted up, see how it looked, see how far it came out on the bike. And then the same on this side, I bent this a little bit. But same thing. Put this up into place, bolted it on, cut this out to accommodate that hose so it fit in there perfect. So yeah, get yourself a little template. Don't just go out and look at my horrible video and use these measurements. Go buy yourself a strip of this. Go buy yourself a strip of this and just start fitting it in yourself. Cut it, bend it where you need it bended, and you'll make yourself some pretty sweet highway pegs, or at least the brackets. Yeah, so I hope this helps. Doesn't, look at that sweet 10 degrees. If it doesn't, I'm sorry, but if it does, awesome. That was my intention. As I scratched my head for a long time wondering how I was going to do this, and I think this is going to work. And then I'll post something on the final once I put the foot pegs on and they both fall off.